Oh, hello. Welcome into my workshop and welcome to the show Creations of Clay. My name is Luis Palladini, and today I like to do an animal that everyone's probably somewhat familiar with. It's called a Mesosaurus. It's a prehistoric dinosaur that used to live in the ocean, and I'll show you that, how to make that from start to finish. It's a very unique looking animal. It almost reminds me like a crocodile with flippers. And what I loved about him, he's got all those big teeth and everything, and I figured people would enjoy doing something like that today. We have several types of clay that we can use. There's an oil-based clay such as this, which never hardens. This is the one I used to use all the time as a kid. I used to make all kinds of things, and then when I got bored of them, I just rolled them up into another ball and made something else. There's also an air-hardening clay, such as this, which after a couple of hours or overnight, it will harden, and then you can paint it. That's the advantage of that. My preference for the clay is a clay called Super Sculpting that you can bake it in the oven at about 275 degrees for about 15 or 20 minutes, and it's great because you can drill it, sand it, you can do a tremendous amount of detail. I will show you the size balls of clay we'll be using today. I tried to make it easy for myself today so I remember which ones were which. These two in the front here, this size here, those are going to be for the head, the jaws, the upper and lower jaw. These four balls that you see on the bottom right here, those are going to be used for the flippers. This one here is going to be used for the tail. And then this larger ball here is going to be used for the body. So the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to take these apart now. Leave these over here, that way I know what I need to be using for when. We're going to take and we're going to start to create the body of the Mesosaurus. Okay, see that? I'm squeezing it almost into like a potato-like shape. And just like that. Doing that. We do that. See that? That's coming along nicely. So now we have that shape there. So what we want to do next is I'm going to put this down right here, and we're going to make the tail next. I'm going to make them in small sections so it this way. So what I'm trying to do is lengthen this out. This is going to be the very back end of the tail right here, the one that I've got my fingers on right now. We're going to just kind of pinch that. So what I'm doing, you pinch that like that. Just like that. See how we're making that? And we're doing that. Okay, now that we've done that, I want to make the four flippers. I figure it's easier to make so what I'm going to do is take this, you flatten this out here. Just like that. See the shape that I'm making right there for the flipper? Flatten, and then you want to make that shape for the flipper. See, I'm taking my fingers and I'm going around like that. So that one's done. We're going to take and make another one. Flatten out. Then we're going to make that shape. Just like that. See how we're flatten? These are going to be the front two flippers. So what I want to do is I want to make sure these are approximately the same size, which they are. I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger. I want to make sure they're, yep, see they're about the same size. So we got those, and then I'm going to make the rear flippers. So flatten out. Just like that. We got that one done, and then we got this one here. So flatten out. And we do that there like that. See how we got that? Flatten out, and then that's the shape that you want to make for the flipper. I want to make sure that these are both about the same size. They approximately are, which is good. Yep. So now I got those, place those there like that. It's coming along nicely. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to do the head of the Mesosaurus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that, flatten it out a little bit. See what I'm doing? And this is going to be the top part of the head. See that? And then you almost kind of want to make like a V shape there. And now what I want to do is I'm going to kind of make a slight indentation with my thumb there. See? Push in, but then you're going to pull up a little bit on the sides to make lips. So squeeze that like that. And then you're going to squeeze a little bit on the other side. See the head? See how it's not shaping up nicely? So just going to get that. I'm going to make that. Look at that. Pretty cool, huh? Now we're going to take and I'm going to make the bottom part, which is going to be the bottom jaw. I'm going to do the same thing. Take that, try to flatten it out a little bit. I want to make sure, yep. And now what we're going to do, remember what I did? So this is going to be the lower part of the jaw. So push your thumb in a little bit, and then pull this up a little bit in the sides. That's going to create the lip. We got that. You see. See how I'm putting those together? And then now that's the lower part of the jaw. So what I'd like to do also is I want to get a little piece of clay from over here. we want to make the tongue. So I want to show you how to do that. We're going to take this, just make a little round ball of clay. See how big that is? So now I'm going to flatten it out. But then we almost make it like a V shape. See how I'm doing that? Taking my fingers from the side, making that nice V shape. Let me see, I want to save that. Yeah, that's going to look good. See that? See how cool that is? Just a couple of minutes, or a minute or two, we just made that tongue so very quickly. So now I want to take, and I want to place that in the mouth like that. Push down on it. But then I want to curl up the tongue a little bit here. Like that. So now what I want to do is I want to take some of my sculpting tools here. I want to put them over here. What I like about these, they got the little round balls on the end, so they make it easy to work with. And we just kind of, push this away a little bit from the tongue, because when we put the teeth in, I want to make sure that we have that area. Okay. And then I just want to also make this indentation a little deeper. So I'm going to take this and just kind of push that in like that. See that? See, we kind of made that indentation. And I'll put that down. The next thing that we want to do is I want to take and start putting these together. I do have a little bit of wire here, and this is going to help us put this together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip off some pieces now. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. These are going to help keep the clay attached together. So first thing that I want to do is I want to attach the tail here. So what I'm going to do is take this piece of wire here. See, it's about that length. And we're going to put it in right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to push it in this side here like this. So, and then push those together. And then what we're going to do is I am also going to get some clay from over here, some additional clay. I'm going to pull it over here because we're going to be using a little bit more of this. So what I want to do is take this clay, take a little piece of clay and kind of wrap it around here a little bit because we want to make sure that these are firmly attached. So see how I'm doing that? And the wire helps us to keep that together. Then I'm going to take another ball of clay here. And we're going to attach that right down here. See, I'm wrapping that around there like that. wrapping that there like that. Next thing that I want to do is I want to take the top part of the jaw or head. I'm going to push that little piece of wire in there like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to push this in here like this. See that? And then I'm going to take a little bit of extra clay here from off of here. And I'm going to roll this in my fingers like this, because what I want to do is I want to make sure that that's attached now. Just like that. And then we'll take another little ball of clay. And I'm going to roll that. And I'm going to attach that right there like that. I want to make sure that that's firmly attached. See that? And we'll kind of push the jar up a little bit. Like that, see? So now, the next thing that we want to attach are going to be the flippers. So I'm going to take the flippers. So I'm going to flatten these out a little bit in the end. See, I'm taking my finger and tapping that, making it a little flatter. So now I'm going to take a little piece of wire here. I'm going to take and push it in there like that. And then, you see, I want to make sure it's in the right spot. Okay. So now, you see you take and go like that. And now, we'll do the same thing for the other side. Flatten out, like I said, tap it a little bit. Put the wire in like that, see that? And then what we're going to do, I want to make sure I have it in roughly the same spot. See that? I just push that in. Yeah. Now, we're going to put the back flippers on. So what I'm going to do is take this, push that in there like that. Make sure I get the right proportions here. And what I did is I just slide it in like that. And then we're going to take this, flatten that out a little bit, put that wire in, and then I'm going to attach right about, yep, wait a minute, I want to make sure it's in the right spot. See how we did that? Now, what we're going to do is to make sure these are firmly attached, I'm going to take and come back in with my sculpting tool and kind of push these together. But I'm going to take the clay and make sure that they're almost like welded together, or see that? Just taking, I'm going to flip that over, do the same thing up near the top, right there, just like that. And then we'll take and do the same thing with this piece here. See that? Make sure it's firmly attached. I'm going to flip it over. I want to get the underside also. Just like that. And then we'll take, and I'll do the underside in this flipper. Then I'll flip it over. We'll do the same thing up here. See how we did that nicely? This one needs to be done also. And this side, I'm going to flip this one. I want to make sure I get that side too. There. See how we did that? This is really coming along. See how it's really coming along nicely now? You're really starting to see the Mesosaurus develop and the pieces all come together. The next thing that I want to show you how to do is I'll show you how to do a few teeth. I'm going to take a little tiny ball. I'm going to put it right here. Put a couple of these right here. I'll do probably about 3 in each jaw, and I'll show you how. See that? Just want a little piece of clay. I mean, they're very tiny. Okay. One of the other things that I want to do too is I want to get a little piece of clay here for each side of the jaw before we put those in. And we're going to make a triangular shape like this. Flatten out, and then do that. So we're going to make a triangle. And what we're going to do is in the bottom jaw, I just want to kind of put that right there. That's going to be part of the mouth. See how I attach that right there? And then we're going to do the same thing for the other side. So you're going to make a little triangle, flatten out, triangle. And I'm going to put the other one on the other side, like that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to make teeth. So you're going to think of an ice cream cone, a very small ice cream cone. Rotate it, and then I'm going to put it right, fit it right in the mouth like that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to just kind of push that down like that. See how we just put that tooth in? I know it's small. I'll show you. We'll do another one. Think of an ice cream cone. That's what I'm doing. I'm rolling at my fingers, making it like an ice cream cone because you want that conical shape. And I'm going to place that right in there, that lip area that we created before. And you're just going to work that in like that. See how we did those two teeth? Now, we're also going to want to do that on the top part too. make the conical shape. And you're going to place that there like that. And I just take that, the tool, and just kind of work it in like that. See that? That'll hold it right in place now. We'll do the same thing again. Conical shape. Think of an ice cream cone. Roll it like that. And then we put it in there like that. And I take and I work it like that. I'm going to take ice cream cone. I'm going to put it in the mouth like that. See how I just did that? And just work that in like that. See how we have approximately 3 teeth in there like that? What you're going to do is you're going to go around the entire mouth like that. I just showed you how to put some of them in, but I'll show you what it will look like in a minute. You're going to do that in the top, and then you're going to do that on the bottom jaw. And then what you're going to do is, let's see, we might need another piece of wire. Let me see. I think, yep. Just I thought. We'll get another piece of wire here. We'll clip this. Now I'll get that out of the way. And what we do is we take and we put it in the bottom part of the jaw here. See I'm pushing that in? And then what we want to do is take and push that in like that. See that? So now we have the top and lower body, the top and bottom together. But what I want to do now is, let's see, we got my, just kind of work this in a little bit, because that's part of the jaw. It's kind of like a fleshy part that goes in there. I'm going to work this jaw so it's a little better. So we got that. So one of the things that we want to do next is we do want to create the eyes. So I'll take, I want to see where I approximately made them on this one. I'm going to take that ball. See, we did that? And then I'm going to go to the other side and do this exact same thing. So I'm going to make that, I want to make sure it's, I'm going to make it approximately right there. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I want to lengthen this out a little bit. Make it look more like an eye. So I'm going to take that tool, see this, and we're going to go back and forth a little bit. Just like that. See I'm doing that? Just go back and forth like that. I don't want it to round ball. I want it to, see that? I changed the shape a little bit. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Kind of stretch it out. See I'm going back and forth. Just like that. Go back and forth like that. The next thing that I want to do is take, now I'm going to take a little piece of clay here. I'm taking this off. And we're going to put this in as a pupil. So what I'm going to do is take this and put it in there like that. Now what we're going to do is that in the middle of that pupil, we're going to make a little hole like this. And then we'll do the same with the other one. And then what we'll do is we're going to take another piece of clay for each one, and we're going to create an eyelid above each pupil. So what I'm going to do is take this clay here, kind of roll it a little bit like this, and then I'll show you the shape that we want. We want to create, think of a banana. That's the thing that, a banana. We're creating a little banana of sorts. So now, that little banana now, we're going to put that above right there. See that? And then we'll do the same for the other side. We'll create the little banana. Create that little banana. You can see that it's shaped like a banana. See that? And then what we're going to do is we're going to take and put it above the other eye. Like that. And then what we're going to do is, I do want to take another little piece of clay, about this size, let's see. I'm going to take this size ball of clay here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll that in my fingers like this, and I'm going to stretch this out like this. See how we're doing that? Just want to check something. Yep. So what we're doing is we're trying to create like almost like a little sail for to put on top of the tail. See that? I'm doing that. And then we're thinning it out with our fingers like this. See that? And then we're going to put that right on top of the tail like that. You see how I just did that? So now we're going to put that on there like that, push down on it. And what I want to do is I want to work this in a little bit now. So I'm taking this, my tool here, and pushing down on that to make sure it's attached. See that? Just like that. We'll flip it over and do the other side. Do that. And that's done. Okay. So the next thing that we want to do is I want to create scales on his back. So let me see. So what we're going to do is we're going to take my tool. I just need to dab my eyes a little bit, getting a little watery here. So see this? I'm going to take this here and just kind of create a line like that. We'll go all the way across like that. And then we'll create another line right next to it. Just like that. See how we're doing that? See how I'm making that line? And then we'll do that. I'll make another one. Let me see, we're going to make one more here. Okay, so then I'll just make these a little bit longer near the head. Then I'll lengthen these out a little bit. So now what we want to do, see what I'm doing here? I'm just going right across like this, making another line. See how we're just taking that? So we're creating some nice scales this way, but they're square in shape. See how we're doing that? Isn't that cool? It's having a very nice result right now. All the way across. Isn't that nice we did that? It doesn't take that much time, but the results are awesome. See how we did that? Pretty cool. So now, the next thing that we want to do is we want to create scales. What I want to do is we want to create some more scales. So we're going to do some stuff on the jaw. So what you would do is just go like this. See this? All along the jaw like that. See that? And we'll do the same thing here. And you do that, and you'll do that on both sides. And then another thing that you want to do is you want to create scales. So an easy way to do it is take this little ball and just make little indentations in the skin like this. And this will create the scales that you want. You do that the top and the bottom here. And then I do want to make sure smooth these out a little bit. They seem to be firmly attached now. So I want to kind of get rid of some of those lines. Make sure. So the next thing that we want to do is I also, on Super Sculpting Clay, I always like to poke holes in the bottom like this. So when I fire it in the oven, it doesn't crack. So I did that. The next thing that we want to do is we want to make some more scales on the flippers. So I'm going to just take and just make little indentations with that round ball-like thing to make the texture of the scales we want for the flippers. Like that. See that? And then you'd hit it from the side too. And do it from the other side too. Then we'd flip it over. And you do that. And you're going to do that for each one of the flippers. I'll just show you how to do a couple of them. See that? We just make that little indentation. And that's how you would do the flippers. And then another thing that you want to do is for this here, for this tail, I'm just going to smooth this out a little bit so we can do something. We're going to take, and we're going to kind of make lines like this going this way. See that? On the little sail that we put in there. And do that. And then we'll do the same for the other side. Trying to figure out the easiest way for me to see that. I want to have them going in that direction. Like that. And then we're going to do some very easy scales on the bottom here. We're just going to make the skin look somewhat leathery. So I'm just going to, ever so slightly, just kind of make some lines like that on the bottom. See that? Just do that. You want to kind of look, the skin to look leathery. So just we're going to rough it up a little bit. You do that like that. And then we're going to kind of do the same thing on the tail. You kind of go like that. See that? You can make them with some squiggly lines like that. Like that. See how that? Give it some a nice leathery texture like that. You do that for both sides of the tail. And you'll also, for the side here, we're going to do the same thing here. See that? And just kind of roughen that up a little bit. Make them light, very light lines, like that. Just like that. So basically you're going to do that like that. You're going to do that. You got the underside. You do the underside of the tail like that. But that is how you'll do it. And I'll show you what the final version will look like. This is the final version of Mesosaurus. You can see how with the teeth, see the jaw, how we've created the jaw. See the jaws? That little triangular area, you just rough it up a little bit there. See how I did all the teeth? It's pretty cool when you see the teeth. See that? It takes time, but the result is phenomenal. And then you see how I did the tongue and the mouth like that. You can see the eyes. You can see how I did those nice scales in the back there. And then you can see how I made a little indentation with the tool, make a little round circles to create that texture for the flippers. And I did it on the bottom. And then you can see how we did the nice texture for the tail. And then see how I kind of made the lines there, make the skin look leathery on both sides. It looks like that. So this is what the underside will look like. And then, you do some lines into here too. And I just want to give you a really good view. I'll rotate it now. And that's the final version of Mesosaurus before we paint it. And I do want to thank you for coming to Creations in Clay today. And I do look forward to seeing you again next week. Goodbye for now.